Oh, because I can't do it like this. That's why.
We are live.
Okay, and welcome everyone. Welcome to the set. Welcome to the set 6145. Tonight's segment is the Canna We Talk segment of one set of the set 6145. Welcome everybody. Thank you for tuning in at home. Tonight it's Lisa from Canna Kitchen.
BB.
And Elisa. Hi, everyone.
So let's get into things. What are we going to talk about today? So today we're going to go over the events of last weekend. And last week was 420. And what an amazing turnout. The park was
very eventful.
Super lit. Super lit is all I can say. Compared to last year, we, I guess the correct word would be we did exponentially better. Canna Kitchen last year was our first time participating as a business in the 420 event, and we looked
uniformed.
Last year? No, we did not.
This year.
No, I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about last year, our first.
But last year was an experience also. You know,
last year was just full of learning and seeing what it was about. Thank God we had our brothers Savage Leaves that kind of helped us and showed us the way on how to navigate everything in the park so early on. And this year, it was just so much better. The crowd was lit from the time we got there. Last year, we got there and it was not that crazy until
2 o'clock.
I think
right?
about 2 o'clock.
Right? Then it got super lit.
to.
But this time when we got there,
it was crazy.
It was already super
packed.
lit.
Yeah,
we didn't even get the table set up. We already had people asking us for products and what we do and what we're all about. So it was definitely a better experience. And it was good to see us, coming together and doing our thing. What do you think? How do you think we did?
I can't believe we pulled it off. That's all I have to say. I mean, wow.
Elisa?
Well, I will say that you guys held it down, right? Because I couldn't meet you guys until like 2:33.
No, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in comparison to last year.
In comparison to last year, I would say I think that the vibe last year was a little more freer. Okay. This year, I think it really has gotten commercial, right? You've seen so many vendors. People had their act together. We stepped up our act, right? We were amateurs. We were just starting out.
I mean, we're still pretty novice, but I think we were literally just getting our feet wet last year. And then this year we just had we had our uniforms, we had our products labeled. Last year we only had food. I think that we had at the table.
We had our pretty little
that's what I'm saying. We only
cupcakes.
We had
That's
the
all
desserts
we
and
had.
stuff, right? We didn't have the products that we have now. We didn't have the
We were just talking about what we were doing.
What we were going to do.
We were creating, but so now
and then a year later, after all that hard work.
But people remembered us because remember the Zizzle guys came up to us.
True.
A lot of people remembered us.
It was definitely a vibe. For sure. There was, of course, your eclectic people there. There was one guy that he was already there when we got there. I don't know if you noticed him. I think I pointed him out to you once you got there. He literally was standing on a bench, staring into the sun for hours. When I say hours, he was right in front of us. I don't know how he was in front of us. He was wearing a purple. It looked like a master of ceremonies kind of overcoat, and he had the little dog that looks like they have dreads on their fur. So he had that little dog with him. The dog is what caught my attention, and then he was just staring into the sun for hours on end. I don't even know how he was able to see after that. But you had some.
You missed the guy on the throne with.
I heard about the guy on the throne, but I didn't get to see him. I heard
so he
about
had a
him.
velvet smoking jacket. He was sitting on a throne. He had a crown. I saw him.
It wasn't a crocheted crown.
No. It was a crown.
Guy.
No, it was a crown, and he had on a blue velvet smoking jacket, and he was smoking one of those extra large roars. And he had someone filming him. So it was definitely, like they say, a movie.
I mean, that's
for sure.
That's what we missed out on. You know,
We did. I mean, we were really busy.
Listen,
I know.
We didn't expect to be that busy. So, you know, you take the good with the bad. And we didn't get to get a lot of footage and take a lot of pictures. But we were busy.
What about that lemonade?
Let's talk about the lemonade. Yeah, that was such a last minute thing.
Like I told the girls it was like Beyonce. We dropped the, it was like last minute thing. We did
the lemonade.
No, seriously, like we were.
It was a hit.
We were up to. It was like 1:00 in the morning, I think, when Bertha was like, "That wagon, does it need to be put together?" And I was like, I don't know, maybe it does. And even at that time, fast forward an hour and change later, we put the wagon together.
An hour and change.
And then we went back and we finessed. Well, I mean, I can't even take any credit. I just helped. Bertha finessed the lemonade. And to say that it was a hit, I think, is an understatement. You know, we sold out all the bottles that she made, and the sample thing,
it went.
Not only did it go, like it,
people were
adding ice. They were taking the watered down version. So it was just so much love, and then we even had returning customers. You know, people. Oh yeah, no, I'll be back.
She stopped me in the bathroom when I went to the bathroom.
No, but there was a few of them. I know that girl you talk about. 'Cause that was the
Jamaican
first one.
sunburn.
Yeah,
I smiled.
Yeah, Dito, she was sunburned. Yeah, it was awesome. It was really, really awesome. 420 was such a vibe. I mean, I know there's a lot of other events that we could partake in and be a part of. Hopefully, things with us get so good that we'll have some Canna Kitchen in the park, Canna Kitchen in some other events and some other venues. I mean, that's definitely the goal. And then we went to 422.
Talk about the Newark, what was
it was called Hemp Fest.
Hemp Fest 2023.
In Newark, New Jersey.
In Newark, yeah.
Which is where they met the guest we're going to have on the show today.
Right.
Yes.
That brings us to our guest. But just to give you guys at home what we participated in. So in Newark, New Jersey on Halsey Street, they actually had, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think they had a whole week's worth of events.
I believe it was from the 19th.
Yes, unfortunately, we weren't able to.
I think it started the
right?
19th.
So it was like a couple of days worth of events. We participated in the Earth Day event.
Yeah, the Earth Day that one.
And it was a block party where it was an outside, downstairs, outside again type of venue. It was a block party, and then the business itself, which I think is called Plantiva.
Shout out to Plantiva and
Web
Infuse.
Audress Torres,
yes,
shout
forever
out.
our girl Web Infusion. She put us down with this, and it was amazing. All the people that we met there were just so loving,
welcoming.
I mean, they got T.H.C in their system, so what else are they gonna be?
But it's
right?
been like that because we met Audress in Weiss, right? And Weiss was a non-consumption event, and we still got a lot of love there. That's how we met Audress from Web Infusions, and we've stood in contact with her since then, and we met her in May of 2022.
And we continue to meet some really good people.
Yes.
We also
shout out
met
to
We Smoke, I think it's called.
We Smoke app.
The app.
Yes.
I mean, there's a whole. I mean, that's just going to be another show altogether. But it was just amazing. There were so many people there, and the event went on all day.
Correct. We Smoke app.
We Smoke app. And we met other vendors that are doing all types of things, which we're going to talk about our guest later, and the company and the stuff that she's doing with THC and CBD. Amazing stuff. We're going to learn a lot, and we have some. She will have some things that, if anybody's looking to get down with, can definitely be a part of.
She's a yoga instructor also, and we were talking about stretching, and she's really big in the CBD industry. So she's one of our guests, and she's going to be educating us on the CBD side.
Excellent. So let's bring her in so that we can get this conversation going and learn more. So I'd like for everybody to welcome to the set Jennette Right? And
Yes,
saying our Jennette
Uh-huh.
from T.H.C. Wellness. Jennette, welcome to the set and the Canna We Talk segment of our show.
Hi, guys. Well, thank you so much for having me, ladies.
Oh, you're welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here. It was very nice to meet you on Saturday.
It was so much fun. It definitely was.
I absolutely loved your products, though. I mean, we also will purchase some of her products.
Tell us a little bit about...
Tell us how your company came about, what it was born out of, your relationship with CBD and THC, and the benefits that you get from it.
So T.H.C. Wellness, or the Healing Crew, as we like to call ourselves, we basically created it during the pandemic. So I have sickle cell anemia, and then my partner and husband, he also has like very sensitive skin as well. So I'm very big on natural remedies. Okay. And as we all know, cannabis as a plant in its entirety is great for not only just, recreational, but for like medicinal use as well. And on the medicinal side, that's where we kind of started to tap into, because pain management typically, in the US especially, is a lot of opioid based medications, a lot of pill taking. And when you tell people about natural remedies, it's like a whole, like, what do you mean? Is it actually going to work?
Right.
So
you have a lot
the Healing
of people.
Exactly. Like the Healing Crew's main thing is about educating people on the entirety of the cannabis plant, not just the THC and having fun.
Right. Not just the recreational part of it.
Yeah, like I enjoy that, but like
there's more to it.
Yeah, like, but I also, I'm also getting older, and I have aches and pains, just like,
well, the human body has a cannabinoid system.
Exactly. And once you tap into that and start really kind of making use of the CBD side and the medicinal side, you'll be surprised at the like transformation that you have. Like, and that was why I created the Healing Crew, is to give people that education.
Talk to me a little bit about the difference between the THC and the CBD, and why you're choosing, or did you start with the CBD?
So THC is great because, it's a psychohallucinogen. So that's why you get high and you have those, effects. For people on the other end who want to learn about cannabis but don't want the effect of feeling high, that's why you use CBD. My husband suffers from depression and anxiety. I have my own mental health issues, but it's just good for like those days where I don't feel like being necessarily high and I just kind of want to chill and mellow out. That's what CBD is for. You had a long day, your body's aching, or you just need to like not feel mentally overstimulated. Okay. That's what CBD is for.
Which product of yours, of THC Wellness, would best fit a day like that you're describing?
I would say for me, it's always going to be the bath soaks. At the end of the day, depending on, my mood, like, and I'm not a bath person, but if I'm like, okay, I want to go home, I need to like take a nice herbal bath soaks are going to do that for you. Okay. We also have a soap that's our lavender knockout bar, and that's good for like your bedtime routine if you're not a bath person and you want to like take a shower. That's why I made the soaps too. So it's kind of something for everybody.
Yes, I got it. I used it. Yes.
We have, so currently we have the Big Bar oatmeal soap. I have yet to open it.
And
so
I got the other one. It's oatmeal and some, was it lavender? Honey. Am I saying that right? There's two things in it. I had to pry it out my daughter's hands.
Goat milk and turmeric?
I think that's what it is. There's something. Yeah, my daughter was like, oh, is this for me? I was like, no, it's mine. Thank you very much. So yes, you got that, and you got the
mango salve.
Yes,
the 1,000 milligrams. So this one I've been using.
And what would that?
That's for the skin, right? That's a topical ointment.
That's a topical. Yeah. So you're sitting at a desk all day. Your neck is bothering you. Your back is bothering you. Your hands might be bothering you. You got carpal tunnel or arthritis. use that. Just take a little bit, massage some in your hand. It immediately, like once it hits your body heat, it instantly melts into your skin.
Okay.
And it's not heavy, which is why I like delicious. It.
It's not. There's no greasiness afterwards.
Yeah,
just,
like you don't have to worry about your fingerprints being everywhere.
Okay. Yes,
we're gonna try it.
That's big. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's try it now. So why don't you tell us the range of line of products you have?
So
all the different things.
Smells delicious.
Oh yeah. Smell it. I definitely have. I have stuff for everybody. I have a 4-month-old, so I tend to use the soaps for him.
Ooh.
Then you also have stuff for people who don't take baths, obviously. So that's why I started off with the soaps.
Okay.
I have facial scrubs because with CBD and because our skin is our largest organ on our body.
You guys didn't pick me up a facial scrub?
Sorry.
I'm
look at
all
that.
about
I just wiped and I'm
facial
snapping my
care.
fingers. So you're
I definitely want to try your facial scrub because they know I'm all about facial care.
Yes, I love the scrubs.
Not greasy. I love it.
It's nice, and you'll smell good. You still get the effects because you're definitely gonna we've had people when we've done events, especially older people who have like hand issues or been on their feet. They're like, hey, thank you so much for your salt because I literally within a few minutes, like my hands are not bothering me or like they don't feel like they're swelling up as much. And that's because CBD is best. You get your best results when it's absorbed through your hands, through your skin.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm gonna have to get that for my mom.
And it smells delicious.
I'm gonna have to get that for my mom.
Yeah, like my parents use it. I ship them like my saws all the time and like the sticks. I also have sticks. So if you don't want a jar and you want something more on the go that you can just throw in your purse, I have the stick form of that as well.
Do you guys do like any type of sunscreen or anything like that? Or is that something that you're looking into?
Not right now because I don't want to overwhelm the products yet. And all of our products, because we get it lab tested, then we try to like be mindful of like what it is that we're putting out so that we make sure that like people aren't having weird adverse skin reactions and stuff like that. That's why we make sure everything gets lab tested.
Right, so it could be like hypoallergenic, non-comedogenic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sensitive skin person too, and while I don't have sickle cell anemia, I'm anemic. So you look at me hard enough, like I'm all bruised up now, like seriously. And so I'm always looking for products. My skin is so sensitive. I need natural things. I can't use things that have heavy perfumes and dyes and things of that nature.
Yeah, the less the stuff that's in it and the more pure it is, the better it is. Like I feel great and I'm not greasy. Like
it feels amazing, right? Yeah, it does.
And it smells
honestly
pretty. It's not a heavy scent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we have to talk because I'm gonna need more of this.
So do you have like a version of that's maybe like an actual lotion?
I don't do the actual lotions yet. I'm definitely working on that because I want something more like whipped. So that's something that I'm trying to perfect right now.
You know what I think would be great too? I don't know if you have it, but maybe massage oils.
Yes, that's the other thing. Because especially from like my clients,
it goes hand in hand with with the line of
with
work.
the wellness, with the yoga.
So talk to us about the yoga. What is this yoga? It's yoga and smoking, yoga and what?
Elevated yoga. Elevated yoga. I started off originally before even T.H.C. Wellness. I'm a yoga instructor, and I had always been like a smoker, anyways, during like just me on my own practicing, and I created like a class for that before everybody hopped onto it. Like I was myself and a couple other people who are already been doing it for years in the cannabis industry. They've been doing that type of stuff for a while, and I remember going into like New York and having to go into like Central Park or like doing like yoga in the park or something like that. And we do elevated ones, but we'd have to, be discreet with it and stuff.
Right.
So it's interesting now, having venues where they're more open to it, which is great because it makes it easier.
Yeah,
but
so your venues are indoors now because it's more 420. Okay.
Yeah, you can smoke. It's a vibe. Like last month, we did a Nas Elmatic elevated yoga class.
Oh, okay.
It was awesome.
Okay, so wait a minute, because I took yoga for a long time. I used to work at this company that they would have private trainers come in because we had our own gym, and I took yoga for like 2 years. Every Wednesday. So yoga's supposed to be calming. So I don't understand the marriage between Nas, Illmatic, and yoga.
How did that work?
Yes.
Because you don't, and exactly for that, because the thing with smoking and doing yoga is it's not about, smoking the entire time.
Right.
Like in my classes, I encourage people, we all smoke together, we all light up together. As like, one unit. And then I will literally probably only offer like, hey, when we have little breaks. So it'll be like 2 or 3 breaks during the yoga flow where I'll be like, hey, if you want to take another hit now.
No, that's not what I meant. I meant that, yoga is supposed to be calming. Nas Illmatic is kind of like a pump you up.
Yeah.
I'm talking about that.
Yeah, well, the thing with it's something different because it's not my typical yoga class. So people love themes, and I want to encourage people to do yoga and
not be scared of it.
Like you can do yoga and literally be listening to whatever you want. And
true, you're tapping into something, right? Okay, I get it.
I will say, yoga is deceptively hard. Like you look at the poses and you're like, oh, that's easy.
I've been telling you.
They are not.
No, I did aerial yoga a couple of years back. I only did 1 class. I was like, this is not relaxing. I almost killed myself.
But for you, that you work out so much because you're doing weights and it'll improve your flexibility.
I'm gonna go to the elevated.
It's about class flexibility.
I leave the aerial stuff to the aerialist. I need all my teeth. I don't want to get hurt.
I love yoga.
Well, I mean, I've been doing that. My journey has started when I got diagnosed with RA. I wasn't able. I used to work out a lot. I used to be a gym head, but I wasn't able to. I was limited to a lot, and that's debilitating. So I was introduced to yoga, soft yoga, and then gradually, it's not easy.
It isn't.
It's not easy.
What you did, like the heated yoga?
No,
I've done that
there's
before.
Certain
but
moves.
there's different. No, yeah. Oh.
Like if you're doing certain moves, like for example, talk a little bit about your training. So I don't know if you know, but it takes years to be like a yoga master. You do training. It's a very intense experience to be a yoga instructor, and to get to a yoga master is a whole nother level.
How long have you been doing it? I'm sorry.
Oh, it'll be 8 years this year. That I've been doing it, and that's just, and I'm still taking like classes myself. I'm literally just signed up for a class to get another certification. It's just a matter of, there's so many different forms of yoga, and it's just a matter of finding what works for you, what resonates with you. That's what I always tell my students. And for me, what resonates is the elevated yoga, because I can listen to whatever and still find calm within that. Like I listen to the Nas Illmatic album and find moments in that album where it's like, oh, this is very vibey. Like I can vibe to this and flow, or hey, this is making me reminisce. And instead of the physical practice, now I'm having a mental practice, and I'm getting a deeper connection with like my breathing and just allowing my mental as well as my physical to kind of like start to calm and like relax and feel a little bit more grounded. And I noticed that music brings up certain memories for people. And
absolutely.
If you incorporate relatable music, I feel like those memories and those moments when you're practicing won't be about, do I look good in this yoga pose, or am I doing this right? It'll be like how you feel. And that's what I want you to focus on in the classes. How do you feel in the class as opposed to, am I doing this right?
Gotcha. Okay. And for you, you said that you found that elevated yoga is your thing, your niche. When you were doing the yogas before, was the THC always a part of it, even before you started what you're doing now? Like, did you find when you were getting into your space and meditating and whatever comes along with it, that was because you're a smoker, you always did that to tap into that? Was that, or is that something that was two separate things that just eventually came together?
Yeah, like I had to learn about it. Because initially when I started doing yoga, it was very like structured and rigid. It was definitely more of a specific, they call it Ashtanga yoga, which is very rigid, structured, and there's like no music. So you're literally just on the mat and there's nothing, like it's silence. And that's how I started originally. But for me, that didn't resonate with who I actually was. Because for me, I'm playing 90s R&B. There's Biggie, there's Faith Evans, or like something like that in the background. And sometimes I was smoking, sometimes I won't. It just really depends on how I feel when I get on the mat. And the more I learned and saw other like-minded instructors that look like me and were like coming from different, parts of like the community and teaching me other aspects of what yoga could look like, then I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna do what works for me now.
So that's right.
I wanted to ask you, how did you, right, being a person of color, you've been in yoga 8 years, so I know that when you first started, especially when you first started your education journey, you were kind of like the odd man out. So give us a little background. How did you discover yoga? How did you fall in love with yoga? And when did you realize that this would be something that you wanted to do permanently as a job, as your life's work?
I first started when Instagram was like back before like, the DMs, and it was only like 15-second videos that you could do. Like I was on Instagram just kind of bored and I saw somebody as I was scrolling do a really cool yoga pose. And I was like, oh, I would like to learn that. And she was Hispanic. She was Puerto Rican, actually. She was Puerto Rican. She was from Queens at the time, and it was just dope. And I was like, oh my gosh, like she's like thick and she's curvy and she's listening to like whatever, and she just has this really good energy. And I started following her, and the more I followed her, the more I started kind of just tapping into, maybe we should take a yoga class. And I took a couple yoga classes, and then there was this page called Moving Art Experience, and they curated all people of color wellness art yoga event. And at the time they were doing it in Atlanta mainly, and then they started traveling to New York and other places. The one time they came to New York back in like 2017, I think 2015 or 16, I went. And the minute I went and saw a whole event space of all Black, brown
representation
people,
matters. Representation matters.
It filled you with like a big heart, right? With love. You're like, holy cannoli. Yes.
I mean, her expression says it all.
I see it as you're talking. I see it in your eye. I see, because that's how we felt about Weiss. It was similar. It was so nice to see people that look like us, people that we're familiar with looking like, and everybody was so welcoming and just so willing to, what do you guys are doing? Have you done this? Do you know about this? Just dropping the jewels and being so forthcoming, and it's women too. So, sometimes women, we get the whole, sometimes they can be catty or just, they don't want to help, but not this. This was the complete opposite. I was looking at you tell your story, and it was just bringing me back to Weiss and the emotion and the feeling that I got, like, yo, this is some really cool shit, man. Like, the love is real. It's really cool.
It changes everything. It really does. Because like, it gives you the confidence to be like, you know what, I can do my own thing, and I know I'll have like a tribe.
And people are gonna rock with me.
Yeah, exactly.
And people are gonna rock.
That's an amazing feeling.
Yeah,
it is.
It's cool because with our it's like with our sofrito. It's a very it's something that not everybody knows of. You know what I'm saying? But when people come by our table or they DM us and they're like, I want your sofrito, or like, oh, do you know about a sofrito? And we tell them about it. They're like, oh, that sounds so yummy. Oh, I want to try. Like, and instead of people being like, well, I don't really know, they're actually fucking with the product and are cool with us. They're like, we want to learn more. We want to know more. Again, it comes back to the whole educating thing, because that's like really big with what you do and with what we do. the blinders are coming off people. The stigmas are dropping.
So
which
now
is
I
what
want to ask you,
goals.
since you're talking about that, why don't you get into some of maybe the closed-minded negative experiences or some of the challenges that you've had, especially when you focused on the elevated yoga? Because there's still very much a stigma with the cannabis plant. A lot of people, I will tell you something that I found out. I think a lot of people nowadays are closet cannabis smokers or connoisseurs.
Yeah.
They're coming out a lot
They
more,
keep it in the
though.
DL.
That's exactly
But for
what I'm
you,
saying, yeah.
that you do a wellness, yoga is associated with calm, with wellness. What were some of the negative feedback challenges, that stigmas that you had to break through?
I would say mainly like just not knowing like how it relates. And that's understandable. Also, the whole, people being like, that's not yoga, why are you doing that? It's very gimmicky. And I'm like, actually, there's historical records of like, there's a whole group of people in the Middle East who practice yoga and have a giant bong and they're doing yoga and they're sitting up here flipping on trees and everything. So it's like stuff like that. And it's like, once you present people with like actual facts, then it's kind of hard for them to be like, oh.
It's like you see the perspective starting to change. Right.
Yeah, like I've had to literally show like my certificate of analysis and give like actual people, bring people in and be like, hey, show them your experience. You're an 80-year-old woman and you're using our products, like, and it works. Or just the fact that it's CBD and they're like, because the CBD that they sell in smoke shops looks trash.
Right. I mean, now that the THC is out, people don't even want to look at that. But that's not the store you would go for to find your, I wouldn't go into a regular smoke shop and look to see something like this. This definitely needs to be in a.
How can people get your products? How can people get your
products? Right now,
products?
somebody wanted to get some salve. How would they be able to get it?
So we have an online store that's linked into our bio on our Instagram, and it's through Shopify. So just go onto our Instagram, t.h.c.wellness, and there's a link right there, and you'll be able
the link
to
in the bio.
Right, everything in there. And if you want something custom where it's THC related, then we can also do that because we have everything that you need. So we can definitely do THC. You just have to, send us a message like, hey, we want a custom order, and we can get that out to you.
Is that the Yogi soap babe?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
cool.
So that is, okay. Excellent. So just from the
And
link in your bio on your IG.
Yogi Soap Babe, that's your Shopify.
Oh, no, the Shopify is... I'm sorry. Let me just.
Oh no, these are like the infused. So elevated yoga classes. Yeah, I don't.
Okay,
see
so that's for the yoga classes. What I'm speaking is the link for anyone who's interested in checking out your products.
Oh, that's through the Shopify, and the store, the online store is. I'm just trying to find it's THC Wellness NJ .myshopify.com.
Okay, and you're based out of New Jersey.
Yes.
Okay. Shout out to Jersey.
Hold on one moment. We seem to have lost our guest.
Oh. Okay.
Did we lose her?
So, let's just talk a little bit until we see if she can.
I think
back
we
in.
should do a Canna Kitchen yoga class.
Oh, we could
with
definitely
her.
then
What
have
do
her
you
run it.
think?
Maybe get an event, and if we can look for a venue, and
Or
see
go to
if
one
we
of hers.
can and get a collab going.
Yeah.
We could definitely
that'd be
have some
very
food
interesting.
there and have her run the
Oh, there
show.
she goes.
There
We
she
have her
goes. It's okay. It happens.
We were just talking about having Canna Kitchen. Join one of your
THC
classes.
Wellness, maybe do a thing together, right? That would be awesome. get a venue into
would
some
be, yes.
elevated yoga going with some empanadas for snacks.
Oh, yes.
Right? The empanadas.
You know who we could
Yes.
rope in and maybe check with Viviana as well. Maybe do it in her shop with the event that we've been talking about with Plasti Muñecas.
Oh, we could do. We could
Oh,
definitely talk
okay.
about it because that's a whole wellness center too, and she doesn't do any of the
So-
things that you do. She does wellness and other things, but
It's
they're not.
complementary.
Yeah, they
Definitely
both
works
complement
well.
each other, and that can help get you a client base out here in Brooklyn.
Yes,
Get
yes,
people knowing about
definitely.
because that's. I mean, for us, going to New Jersey was a big thing too because we're Brooklyn based, Brooklyn and Staten Island based. So going out to Jersey was some stepping out of our comfort zone, something new, and it worked well. You know, I mean, we're meeting
Yeah, I mean,
wonderful
everyone was
people.
so
We're
embracing,
thinking of
so
collabs.
welcoming. Absolutely, and they definitely want to work with us. So
I think that's been the experience in the cannabis industry for us in general. How about you? What has been your experience? Do you find that you're creating a community, especially with women?
Absolutely. Like, it's so different. Like, in the cannabis industry, I feel like it's way more welcoming in the cannabis industry, especially with other women cannabis like entrepreneurs, whether they're chefs or influencers, or they have like their own types of unique business. Like, I've never had a bad experience working with anybody in a cannabis related like.
I think we could say I think we could say the same, and we've actually built a really good community. That's how we met Audris. We met Audris at Weiss in Atlantic City last year, and she has we've supported each other from day one. I was so disappointed that I didn't get to meet her father because I wasn't in town, but I heard that he's a great guy.
He was awesome.
Yeah.
He was awesome.
Yes.
He had a
Yes.
sense of
Shout
change the
out.
whole time we were there. Shout out to Webb. He was great. He was great. The whole
Now,
experience was great.
do you know Audris, or did you meet her at the event on Saturday?
I've seen her in like passing, like at different other, like a bunch of other like events in Newark, like First Fridays and stuff like that. But like that was my first time actually seeing her and meeting her in person. She's amazing.
Right, her vibe is just awesome. She was wearing 50 hats that day. She was outside, she was inside, she was doing her table, she was doing drinks, she was making sure we were good, making sure all the vendors were good. She was running the show. She
And
definitely
she
was wearing
goes
a lot
all
of hats.
around because before we had her here, her and she had went to Aruba for I think it was Carnival. I got there the last weekend of Carnival, and she had been there the weekend before that, plugging Web Infusions. She really gets around. She goes everywhere. Any opportunity to promote her business, she definitely takes it.
She's on it.
hustlers,
Yeah.
hustlers. Shout out to
And it's not
Audris
easy
again.
because she also has her day job. So shout out to
Yeah.
Audris.
Absolutely.
Now, you said you have a son, right? So how old is your son?
4 months.
Oh, so he's just a young
that's the
baby.
little baby we hearing in the background. He wants to be down with
Yes.
the podcast too. He's like, I'm here too.
He's like, I hear you talking about me. Like,
Now, you said that your partner was involved in the business with you as well. So what does he do?
Yes.
What is his role?
he handles more of like the sales and networking. Like, I'm the person like between that's handling like the logistics, where I'm doing orders, making sure the website's updated, handling numbers, reaching out for events. He handles a lot of the like talking to other people, getting the products that we need, seeing if there's other connections that we can build to kind of expand and grow, because we're very, very new. Like, we've only been doing this for 2 years. So
Same.
there's so much more
Yes, yeah.
that we can like learn. So like, he's that person. I'm not the like, he's the good, person to talk to as far as sales and like connecting with other people. I'm just like, hey, I'm here in the background. Don't mind me.
So
Like,
who's the mad scientist putting the products together and making?
say he is, because he's always giving me really good ideas for product stuff.
So it's like a
Product-
collaboration.
So you guys are,
Yeah,
you guys.
yeah.
How is it working together, husband and wife?
It's always interesting. Like, good because we both have the same goals in mind. We both also are very passionate about cannabis and our business, and obviously wanting to help people. And the more people that we're able to educate and help, the better. So it's been great, kind of us being like a dynamic duo. We feed off of each other's energy.
Nice.
Amazing.
So you find that you guys do have a healthy working relationship, even though you're married. Because I mean, it does come with like
Everything has challenges, though. I'm sure that there's been times that you guys have been.
Yes.
She's like, oh yes.
That's what I was thinking. That the connotations of marriages. Working together sometimes have a bad connotation as to like, oh, they probably go at it all the time.
That's why I asked how do you guys?
I mean, we have like, for me, I'm probably more that person because he's very cool and collected, and I'm very like, no, we need to be here at this time. Did you do this? Where's the deadline for this? So it's been a good balance.
It's not only me.
Yeah, no. Somebody has to be that person. So I'm the person that's that person, and. Okay. I know for him sometimes, obviously that can be frustrating for other people, but we communicate very well.
Okay. Communication being key.
Communication is key, yes.
Yeah. Yes. And it's like when I need that extra, hey, I need this to get done, he's on it. And I can always trust him to, hey,
that's excellent.
If I can't quit, he's more than capable of doing it. Excellent. And vice versa.
So I would like to pick your brain because one of the things that we've talked about, one of the goals has always been to make CBD versions of our products. So in your opinion, what do you think about that? Because we're on the same road, but you and us, we would be in a different lane, but on the same road. So what's your opinion on that?
I think that would be awesome because the more use that people can get out of the cannabis plant, the better. If they know that, hey, like I can get ingesting CBD, they're gonna get a whole nother experience from you guys, and you'll be tapping into a whole nother group of people as well,
different demographics. Absolutely,
exactly. Because I feel like a lot of people that are curious and just starting in their cannabis journey.
Start with CBD.
I feel like that, but the question is also like, is it gonna? I don't want to get too high, and I feel like that's always like the common.
That is yes.
I mean, I had your CBD lemonade. I'm so sorry, I could not share that.
Yeah, no, you didn't share it with me. I was there. She was like, "Oh, look what I got." I was like, "You showing me an empty bottle?"
I use CBD because I'm like you. First of all, the healthcare system in this country is based on a white cis male, right? There's different prejudices with giving prescriptions and painkillers to black and brown people of color. And even if I don't want them anyway, because the side effects, it cures one thing and it gives you 10 others. So if I can go a holistic, cleaner route, that's always my first choice. Like I was with my family the other day celebrating my mother's birthday. We rented an Airbnb in Florida. And they needed sugar for coffee. And I was like, you're not getting white sugar. You're not getting refined white sugar. I call it the devil's sugar. And I don't drink coffee, but I made them get sugar in the raw. And they're like, she's making us get this sugar. She doesn't even drink coffee. But if you see the documentary on how refined white sugar is made, you would never have it again. It's truly...
It's bad. It truly is not a
mind-boggling. I'm always looking for a holistic method.
Yeah, and the fact that you guys would be able to bring that type of awareness to people would be even better because the biggest thing, we have a huge love for like food, obviously within our culture, right? Food is number one.
That's love.
And if there's an alternative way to make that a little bit more healthy and something that will benefit you obviously at the same time, then why not?
Facts. I also, to get back, I think if we were to come out with a line of products, cooking products that are CBD infused, I think tapping into what she said, and it's something I repeat to you guys all the time, people are scared. And that's the thing that they said, like, oh my God, how much THC is in there? There's an overall knowledge that I think people have where they know that CBD isn't the THC, so you're not gonna get that stuck, quote unquote, that gets attached to ingesting edibles, THC.
Another myth
edibles.
that needs to be
Right.
destigmatized,
Well,
right? The lazy stoner. If people knew how hard it takes to hustle, and when you're an entrepreneur, it's a 24/7 thing. Like, we have the business, we all have our day jobs. You know, they have young children. My son is already grown, but we do a lot all of the time.
Yeah, but so what I was saying is, I just think that the people, when they come to the table, that are, initially they're skeptical. They're like, oh, they'll look at it and they'll ask 50 questions, and then, they'll put it back down and they'll walk away because they're scared. But I do feel that guard would be let down that much more if it is a CBD product versus a THC product. It's a whole different demographics of people.
Yeah, and even that, I think another part of what scares people is the adverse reaction, because a lot of people that are doing infusions don't know their measurements. A lot of the people that are doing infusions, the products are not lab tested. And those two things make a difference, because you put too much in anything, and
it's not good. It destroys the product.
And it's like nobody wants to have an overwhelming taste of like CBD or THC and like something that's supposed to not be that much.
But that's why we also make sure with our stuff is we do measure our stuff, and we make sure we label each and every one of our products.
We have a potency tester, and everyone has told us the food that Bertha makes that they cannot taste the THC in it.
And this is our mad scientist right here, so trust me.
And all of those lessons we learned the hard way.
The hard way.
We did a sit-down dinner for friends, and we were just beginning with the infusions. So we had no idea exactly how potent our sofrito or our oils were, but we were like, we're just gonna keep going until our ancestors tell us to stop.
That was not the move.
Made
no
a
measurement,
dinner.
nothing. A little bit of here, a little bit of that. Sprinkle here, sprinkle there, and
But the thing was that we made a nice dinner. It was like a 5-course meal or something like that. But there wasn't one thing that wasn't infused.
So we infused everything.
That's really not what you're supposed to do. But newbies, we didn't know what we were doing. And it's not even that everything was infused. Everything was infused and was probably over 1,000 milligrams of THC in everything. I mean, and we try to mix it up where we had some consumers, some non-consumers that were willing to try.
Some novice consumers, middle of the ground.
We mixed it up a little, and then I was the one doing the questionnaire, asking, how's the food taste? Do you want to taste the cannabis? Do you not want to taste the cannabis? And that was when we realized, even though as potent as our stuff was, the taste wasn't overpowering, because our friends that weren't consumers were just like eating, and they were great for like 2 hours.
And they came back for seconds. Melinda came back for seconds. Lisa came back for seconds, and that's why they had the experience
they were okay
they had.
For a little bit, and then it took a turn for the worst. And then they of course they were sick from just not being used to that much that was inside their bodies, and we were like, okay, we gotta get the machines, we gotta step it up.
Nutritional.
Grab one of our stuff so that.
Yes. So if you look here,
these are some of the products that we had showcasing.
So the potency is shown right here. I always put the potency on everything, and I break it down by ounce and tablespoon, so that people know. And one of the things we were talking about is making informational cards, right? Because if you use our oil, you're not going to use just our oil. You're going to mix it with a non-infused oil, because this oil is very, very concentrated, very potent. Our sofrito, we've been bringing it down, making it middle of the road kind of thing, not making it so potent, so that people are not scared to use 2 tablespoons or a whole ounce. So we've gotten that one down. The oil, I'm still trying to play around with getting it a little more down, but I like where it's at now, because you can use it like this is 3 ounces, right? And it's 500 milligrams per ounce, 250 milligrams per tablespoon. So you use 1 tablespoon, and then you use the rest of your non-infused vegetable oil. And so if you're making a meal for 6 people, that meal becomes 40 milligrams. So it's easy to do. I set up the numbers. All you have to do is take the amount that you use and divide it by the number of servings so that you can get your dosage amount.
And these are the things that's part of the, as you go along, as we go to these events, these are the things like you people start to ask you questions about your products. People start to, well, how do you use this? How did you do this? What's in this? What's in that? So with those things, we've learned that, okay, so now we need to give people the education that they need. So I mean, that's one of the next steps that we're working on, getting our informational cards on the strains, because we also can do strain specific things like that. So, and we just make sure that the people are well aware and knowledgeable of how to use the products. And and that is something that we did on our own. We learned as we went along, small businesses, and going through the events, going through the motions. We learned and we're incorporating
we're
them.
Still learning.
Yeah,
I mean, we're still learning as we go. We
Listen,
but
you learn more.
Too.
You learn more from your failures than you learn from your successes. Correct?
And that also brings us right back to where we are here at the Canna We Talk segment of the Sets podcast, because that's actually where it started with. My two fellow
as guests.
Guys that run this
Shout out
show.
to Sally
Shout out
and
to
Mr.
Mr. A and Sally. I'm sure they're checking in on us. They're not real big consumers. They have whatever, but that's not really their main thing. And they were, there's this buzz going on. There's this thing, and our friends are they're getting on this bus that's gonna go and take off and with this cannabis industry, and they brought us on. And so that also it came
That's
from
awesome.
Canna Kitchen, and the whole thing is to talk about and get the knowledge out there to the people that this flower really does have wonderful characteristics that can't be used. It's not just to get high. I mean, listen, I like to get high on the weed. I do. I love it. But there's just so many other things that it can
It's
do.
a magical plant. I don't know if you remember, but like in the late 2000s, like 2008 to 2015, like the trend was everyone that I knew, especially females, they were either all on Zoloft or Xanax, and me, I'd rather take cannabis, and I know my strains, I know which one to use when and for what effect, and I'd rather do that. I'm not big into American or Western pharmaceuticals at all.
Yeah.
Well, the hour has gone.
I feel like it's safer. Oh, sorry.
No. It is much safer. I just wanted to say that the
We're
hour
gonna
has
be
gone
by. Thank you.
so
You gave us
quickly.
a lot of information. This was awesome. This whole conversation that we had. Is that the baby? Let's see the baby.
May we see him?
Hi, handsome. Oh my God, qué chulo. We wanted to talk to you too, baby. I know you wanted to talk to us, but we wanted to talk to you too. Yes.
Yes. And if you don't mind, I would love to have a conversation with you offline about CBD, if that's possible.
Absolutely.
And then we definitely have to talk about how Canna Kitchen will be
and
joining you,
do
one of
some
your yoga
elevated
classes.
yoga for
Yes.
sure.
We also have to give you
we
a
can
gift
document
bag
that.
for being on our podcast, which
Yes,
is something that we do for all our guests.
Yeah, we'll definitely give a swag bag, and we'll do more talking offline, so we could, because we definitely want to be a part of this whole New Jersey movement thing that we became a part of. Audra said we're stuck with her, and we want to continue to be a part of the movement because the vibe is great. And if it's,
we need it.
Yeah, we do. We need to get our people out there. We need to get the information out there, and we need to, make sure we pop and become millionaires,
I'm going further than that. I'm trying to create generational wealth.
There we
Yeah, that's
go.
what we're
There
trying
we
to
go.
do.
From
That's
your
definitely.
mouth to
So it was
his
a
ears.
pleasure having you. Thank you.
And we'll
thank
see you
for
soon.
everything. And we will be in contact very soon.
For sure.
Absolutely. Thank you, ladies, so
And
much for
please
having me.
reach out to us so that the next time you're having elevated yoga, I mean, we could definitely go to Jersey. Newark
Yeah.
is right there.
For
I
sure.
am definitely down. There's some tightness in my hip flexors that I really need to take care of because I became a runner in the pandemic, and it's really messing with my mobility and my flexibility.
I got you.
I'm a gym rat, so I need to relax, release and let go. So I need all that
And I
stuff.
love yoga, and I want to get elevated with you. So we gotta do this.
Well,
Definitely next week actually is the next class. So
okay, so we'll definitely be communicating and try to get out to come see you.
Do you do a
Yay!
weekly class or is it by
monthly.
Monthly.
The first
Okay.
Friday of every month.
Okay.
Is it an evening class? Okay.
From 8:30 to 10:30.
Oh, that's perfect.
So I had
That's
some
a good
people that were
time,
already
yeah.
inquiring. We posted that on our page, so that's why we're asking.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a
Yeah.
little crew together and come through. We'll definitely try to get that going. Awesome.
Absolutely.
All right, we
Awesome. So wait, real quick, let's just go over how's if people are trying to look for you, what is the best way to find you and tap into THC Wellness?
Definitely through Instagram. So check us out at THC Wellness on Instagram, t.h.c.wellness. And if you also want to follow me specifically and reach out for about private yoga classes, stretch therapy, I'm also on Instagram. It's Miss MS Mobility Jay on Instagram.
Thank you.
We're going to put stuff together and we'll have all these links in and we'll be posting soon. Again, thank you for coming on and we'll be speaking very soon.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies.
Thank
Have
you,
a great
Jennette.
Good night.
Regards to the hubby as well.
Yeah.
Yes,
Take care.
say hi.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. So that is our show. That is our show for today. Thank you all for tuning in. Everybody that tuned in and checked in on us girls. I hope you guys learned a lot. Anybody interested in any of the products from THC Wellness, you guys can reach out to us if you didn't catch the Instagram. And we can put you in direct contact with them. If you're interested in the elevated yoga as well, you can, if you can't find them or you didn't get the information, you could definitely hit us up on our Instagram and we will be able to connect you over to them. And as far as I have to say, everybody keep smoking, stay strong, keep moving, and thanks for tuning in.
Everyone, thanks for tuning in. Sally, Mr. A, I hope we made you guys proud and held it down. Thank you for trusting us with your baby because we know your podcast is your baby.
Thank you all and see you next month.